I love Monday nights. Get to be able to play some loud music and watch Dan with his headset on, bang his head up against the wall. You know, that's one of the tests for pest controllers. They want to know how many times you can headbutt a brick wall and stay standing. So if I go over here and make that full screen, there we go. We've got Daphne and Alan Hugh Harvey stuck in the waiting room. That's pretty interesting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep right on time. We've got somebody in Melbourne that's trying to join and is having problems. We are working on that. We've got the team in the background here following up and making sure that it all happens. So let's get right in amongst this. Gold Monday, 25th of May, 2020. Now, if you've all been living under a rock, you need to know that the 25th of May is one day closer to the rollover in June that we've been waiting for. If you were standing looking at this on the 24th, it's one day closer. And we're excited about it because there's a whole lot of us will have life-changing experiences when they turn on this rollover. I'm absolutely excited by it. I don't know that I've ever seen such a group of people that have had this availability just in the last few weeks. So everybody, here we go. We'll kick this right off. Are you there, Mr. Dobson?
I am, Mr. Miller.
Outstanding.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Made fantastic music as usual. Yes, it's exciting, isn't it? This is nearly the last. Will it be the last Monday before June? Yes, next Monday is the 1st of June, and it is exciting as we roll into June. And you know, it's exciting because it's our future and it's in our own hands. You know, this team that we have, and it's such a team effort we've put together. It's up to us. We won't talk about too much the rollout because it hasn't happened yet. But what I do know is that the people that have been purchasing cash gold and have some coin and are talking to people are the ones that are going to have a fantastic back end of the year. Super excited. There's Roger Yates, my sponsor. Fantastic. But mate, I might get straight into this because I know you've got a fair bit to cover. And tonight I get to interview another one of our amazing team members, Ms. Caroline Phillips. She's a Gold Director Elite and is someone that has done this again in a short period of time. I've known this lady for the past 8 years, and again, it doesn't surprise me what she's managed to achieve last year. Are you there, Ms. Phillips?
I am, Dobbo. You hear me?
Yeah, clear as.
Yeah, we go back a bit, don't we?
We do go back a bit, and you know, I've watched you and Derek and a few of your guys' teams, build this, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of it. You know, we were in a business before, but never together, and to be able to put together a brains trust of such experience, it's really been exciting. It's just beginning, and I think the people on the call and those that are yet to join us are so fortunate to have the experience of what you guys bring to the table. Firstly, I just want to start off with your entrepreneurial journey. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are now?
Yeah, and thank you, because the Gold Director Elite was actually a team effort, and a lot of strategy went into that. Derek was obviously the first Gold Director Elite in Australia, and I'm the first female Gold Director.
Hang on. This is a pyramid. I sponsored Derek. How does that work? He beat me.
Yeah. Yeah, that just debunks that theory, doesn't it? Yeah.
Out the window, yes.
Look, one of the funniest little snippets when Jan and I were in Amsterdam, it was Joby who came across with Nitsa back in December, and I saw him walk into the room. Now, I didn't know who he was then, but I saw him walk into the room and he was just ahead of me, and he went across to another guy, and it was like sneaking, like a dog or someone is sneaking in. He goes, "This is the best scam ever, isn't it?" And I just laughed. And it's not a scam, it's gold, it's real gold. Yeah. So my history is actually, my dad was an entrepreneur. So I grew up in that environment, and that was wonderful because I had that mindset. And I think that an entrepreneur is someone who finds a solution. It's a different way. It particularly relates to the way we make money. So we look for different ways. It's not the typical way. It's not having a boss and a job. And one day, my dad sent me a fax. That's how long ago that was, and at work. And he was suggesting to me a strategy to purchase one house a year. So I decided to purchase 2 houses a year, and very soon I had 7 houses. So I bought the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad for my dad, actually, and he died suddenly, and I actually never gave him the book. But I loved the Robert Kiyosaki concept of the cash flow quadrant. And to me, I figured it would take me the same length of time to be 50, to be 60, to be 70, etc., as an entrepreneur, as it was going to take me as an employee. And so I much prefer to have a go along the way. And it's certainly been a wild ride. When I moved back to Brisbane, there was a small ad in the paper, and it was about the cash flow game. And that's Robert Kiyosaki's game. So I rang the number and I went to play the game at Lindsay and Sarah's house. And he knew Derek. And so he organised a meeting with Derek, and the rest, as you say, is history. And Derek and I have tried many different entrepreneurial activities, and I liken it to the GPS. It's getting you from point A to point B. And you can go a number of different ways. You just know where you want to be and how you want to get there.
I love it. Yeah,
so
great analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you go on the GPS and you turn left, because that's where it says, and all of a sudden there's this huge hill in front of you. The GPS doesn't show you that, but that's what life brings you, right? The ups and the downs. So one of our businesses was doing really well, and then one of those partners was actually fraudulent. And what that brought was all my investment properties went. They were forfeited in that implosion, and my beautiful house that we lived in. And that's when I decided to go house sitting and recover financially. And that's the entrepreneurial journey. It's like going from A to B, and up some hills, some steep hills, and down the other side it might be steep and windy. So.
And that didn't break you, did it? Eh? What do they say?
No.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger?
Yeah.
Must have been devastating, though.
Yeah, it hurt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so your mindset was always slightly different. People say, "Oh, but that'll take so many years, or you'll be such and such an age." Well, if you didn't do it, you're going to be such and such an age anyway, aren't you? I love your attitude. Always have. The books you read, I often find a good one and send it to you, and you gobble up in no time. So how did you hear about Carabas?
Well, Derek and I knew you, and we worked with you in a previous business, and you introduced Derek first, and then so you're Derek's sponsor, and then Derek sponsored me. It was a while before he sponsored me, and I mean, you've heard that story, so I won't repeat that one.
No, I just like to throw that in, because I mean, I've been doing this type of thing for 30 years. I've said that a few times, and I've never seen anything like what we got our hands on. You still got to do some work. It's still your business, isn't it? But I know some of the pay packets you guys have had, and it's nice to get some reward for effort, let's say.
Yeah.
So what sort of experience have you had in this is not just network marketing. It has a componentry that I love. I particularly enjoy network marketing. I think that if we can talk, and I network in my day job, and a lot of people do in business, and And as soon as you talk about marketing and there's some money involved, some people, for some reason, get their attitude out of whack. And so what sort of experience in this type of business have you had?
Well, just this business and the previous one.
Okay.
Because I think the point about network or direct marketing is to actually have the solution mindset that I referred to. It's have a go, and it's learn along the way, and actually be as professional as possible. So what lets the whole industry down is being unprofessional and expecting too much too soon.
I love it. So true.
And I think I've learned and honed many of Eric Worre's 7 skills over the past decade, as well as spent many years in a public speaking organisation where I also practice my organisational skills. Those organisational skills have stood us in good stead for Gold Rocks. And it's every experience actually builds on the previous one, and I think prepares you then for the next one. And as long as you're ready for it, and again, the have a go mindset, it's a world ride.
That his book, Eric Worre's book, How to Become a Network Marketing Professional, I think it's called. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's a step-by-step guide, and whether you want to use it to the nth degree or not, there's parts of that honestly, and I've got his CDs on the book too. I listen to them all the time. Fantastic. So how does it compare? How does KB Carrot Bars compare to, say, the other networking? Where would you rate it? How would you rate it?
Well, I actually think Carrot Bars is easy. Now, that easy and because the reason I think it's easy is that people understand gold. So if I talk about gold, I was talking about gold with a fellow I met today, and he went, "Oh, gold! Like, I don't have to explain what gold is." He knew what gold was straight away. So what I then explain is how gold is available in small, affordable increments, and I talk about how I always thought that you had to be a millionaire to buy one of those gold bullions that I saw in the movies with John Wayne that I grew up watching with my dad. Then you have to be a millionaire to buy a gold bar like that. But with Carrot Bars, it's much easier, and then I show them my 1 gram card. So in terms of that, it's easy.
Yeah,
having the guts to talk is
talking about gold. It's often I've often heard it said that Carrot Bars is simple. The business is not easy because it involves people.
Always. Yeah. And having the guts to talk to someone.
So I know you've approached people that you know, but I love you. You have another trade secret, we'll call it, where you call on trade shows and you do a little bit of marketing that way. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I think it's brilliant the way that you've gotten quite a few leads on that line of business.
Yes, like I'll talk to anyone. Like today I was at the shopping centre, and outside the barber shop where there's really cute little chairs, and I thought, oh, I'd like to sit in one of those chairs. So I go and sit in one of the chairs, and then the barber guy comes out. Now obviously I'm not going to have a haircut, and I'm not going to pay him anything, but I start to have a conversation about the chairs because they look like the chairs I had when I was at school and blah, blah, blah. And then I start saying, well, have you ever thought of accepting payment in cryptocurrency? And so we had a conversation. And one of the great training grounds for me has been trade shows. I've been to trade shows, I suppose, for a decade. And I think the trade secret is to have a smile on your doll and to be a bit wacky. Right? So
you fit both of those categories well and truly. So you're saying, like, actually take out a booth in a trade show and get leads that way. Is it? Just talk to people, and generally they will be small business, that type of thing. Along that line, and that's what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. So the beauty of that is that people are there to learn, right? And so that they're already interested in something, because that's why they're at the trade show.
Yeah.
And if my camera would work, I'd show you. I've got some really wacky glasses. I've got wacky glasses in that photo. They were bling. And I've got some new glasses. So maybe I need a new photo up there with my new glasses.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. The wackier, the better.
Yes.
So yeah, that's your trade secret, I suppose. And I think we'll do more of that once we get out of COVID. I love that idea, and the type of people. There's a lot of like-minded people that come to those type of shows, isn't there? People that are either looking for a franchise or some sort of other income or different way of approaching their work life rather than just working for a boss, I suppose.
Yes.
And
I guess after losing everything, I have little pride, So going house sitting, then I'm homeless, but I drive a Mercedes, and I'll admit to that really did mess with my head, and particularly when I went Uber driving. So every day someone would get in my car and say, "What's a nice lady like you doing Uber driving?" And you go, "Well, I'm homeless, I need the money." And they go, "What?" So yeah, really interesting.
Yeah. No, well, you've clawed your way back, and it's so good to see. What I like to do with people from time to time is get them on a Skype call with Tammy Morris, and Tammy was such an inspiration for Roger and I in the early days. And we will do that again shortly after these next rollouts. We'll pick maybe a Saturday morning and grab a bunch of people, and you can. She's one of the highest money earners in the business. She's also been around from the beginning and is so inspiring. You actually got to meet her, but remember last year we were down in Edelong and we got her on a Skype call, and you asked her a really sort of simple question, and she answered it almost immediately. So it's something that she obviously does regularly. And you said, "What do you say to people?"
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
You bet.
And can you elaborate on those 3 questions that she generally asks people? She keeps it really simple, doesn't she?
She does. And she's inspirational. And Dan and I had lunch with her in Amsterdam. So she's very approachable. She's very personable. So the 3 questions she gave was, do you believe in saving money for the future? Now, the reason I like that question is the word believe in there. So that eases out or teases out their belief system. Do you believe in saving money for the future? And most people say yes, right? So if they say no, then they're probably thinking that the government will look after them, or they're going, there's going to be something else will look after them. Yeah. So straight away, you know where they stand. Whether they're going to do something themselves, or they've got a bit of go in them, or whether they're going to rely on the government. So the next question is, have you started to save in gold? So here's a new concept. What? I've always known that I can save money in a bank account, and now you're saying I can save in gold. And so the look on people's face is usually really telling. So this is often something they have not thought about, not thought it was possible. And I go back to the big chunk of the gold, and you've got to have $1 million to buy, because it costs $1 million to buy those big chunks of gold. So to think that I can buy gold in small increments, they haven't even thought about it. So again, challenging their education, their stance, and so on. The third question is, if I could show you a way to earn free gold, would you like to learn more? So there's the 3 simple questions, and I use them regularly. They're really good at the trade shows and catching people. And what we did at the trade show was catch people's attention with a bottle that had chocolate money in it. The chocolate money that you eat at Christmas time. And so there's a 2 cent and a 20 cent and so on. And catching people's attention, would you like to guess how much chocolate money is in here? So we had a guessing competition, and that really catches them. So those 3 questions give really clear position as to where the person is at. Their position, their thinking, their ambitions, if you like.
Yeah, and you're also the yes/no questions, aren't they? And if they're not saying yes, no, yes, then you go, okay, have a lovely day. I mean, it's almost a way of sort of weeding people out to find out the dreamers,
Absolutely.
you know, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Can you say number 3 again? Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yes, certainly. Number 3 is, if I showed you a way to earn free gold, would you like to learn more? Now, I often have people say no to that. So they've said yes to the first one. Yes, they believe in saving money. No, they haven't thought of gold, but yes, they'd be interested. And then, but no, they just don't have the time to learn more. But because gold is a standalone product, they can actually buy gold and stash gold. And
so then what do? Do you send them a video? Generally, the next step is someone says, what have you got?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we've got some great videos, haven't we?
And at Gold Rock, that's one of always been our goal, is to equip our teams with tools and resources to actually go out and support you wherever you are and whatever you're saying to people to prospect. So that's always been our goal with Gold Rock. Yeah,
beautiful. Okay, and then the last question is how do you think the next 6 months are looking? I mean, I'm excited, but just from your point of view, from what you've done and what you know, how do you see the back end of this year?
I think it's exciting times ahead. Karatbars has some really unique innovations. They have blockchain, they have the encrypted communication devices, cryptocurrency. Almost no other company in the world has those. And then what they keep for the affiliates is, as long as they keep affiliates in focus and the business of helping people saving gold, and the company direction, I think, is really strong and reliable. So the next 6 months, I think in a nutshell, we can keep our assets and earn passive income from them. So it's like the houses I have. You keep the house and you keep the residual income that comes from it. And we have access to asset appreciation because of the gold. And let's face it, the little Mr. Virus that's come along has really helped our assets appreciate in value and how we never would have considered. And again, I'm going to rawly and unashamedly plug Gold Rocks, because we bring you the latest information and how you can use it to benefit you and your family. So stay tuned as we learn more and as information comes in, and we give it out to you as fast as we can understand and work out, and still what it actually means for you and how to make the most of it for you.
Well said.
So stay tuned.
So well said. Okay, thank you very much. It's again, it's a pleasure to be working with you. Everyone's business is
Likewise,
their own,
Brent.
and you've made this. Yeah, and the ride has just begun. I've never been more excited about, and I've been giggling for the last 2 years, but I think what we're going to see in the back end of this, and if people are plugged in, we're talking to the converted here. I mean, there's 50 odd people on this call tonight, and they're here on a Monday night. And we ask people of their time and attention. That's probably the most important thing you can ask of people, and yet these people obviously want to make a difference, and you're in the right place at the right time. And there's people like Carolyn that are here to help, and so it's been a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to ask you some questions and getting to know, and the team gets to know you a little bit more. And
thank you, Brent.
We're looking forward to catching up to everyone face to face, and with your new glasses on, maybe.
Yes, I'll have to get a new photo. Yeah, my new glasses. Yeah.
All right. Okay. At this stage, I'd like to hand it back to Mr. Derek Miller, and I'm sure he's got some fantastic latest news for us.
Thanks, Mr. Dobson. We have some interesting information, and I do have to say that we're all here as a result of what Roger and Brent have really cut the ice through and given us the opportunity to create a life-changing income stream, or a way that we can actually just think through, maybe we don't want to work so much. But here's some scary statistics. Our Australian employment news. So this I published last week, but it came out again in another article online yesterday. So Greg Jericho reckons that the bottom of the unemployment curve has not occurred yet. We are well down the road of a disaster, and the stats say that the fall in hours worked in April, it just was beyond anything that's ever happened in Australia before. So we've never been in this position we're in today. And today, Goldman Sachs came out and said that the unemployment figures that the government's pushing don't paint the full picture, because the true unemployment level looks like being 19 or 20% in June, and I think that's conservative. Now, because you just got to think about what's happened the last few weeks. Nobody was at work. Nobody was doing anything. We were stuck in a lockdown procedure, and how is it possible that only 19% of our workforce was unemployed? It's just not possible. The biggest majority of employers in Australia are the small businesses, and they were all closed. Shut up shop, closed. So those numbers, I think, are just completely understated. But here's some more numbers just for you to get your head around. This is an old graph, but it was embedded in the middle of an article about Labour Force Australia. And look, it tells you a lot. The trend, the orange line, is the percentage of employed Australians who were full-time. And you can see that it's gone down from 85 down to about 70, 70.4 in fact, by 2011. So this is 9 years old. But in the article, they talked about the fact that that trend line has continued down. The other thing that's gone down is the number of hours per week that a full-time employee is engaged in. So not only are there fewer people day to day engaged in full-time employment, they're working less hours. Now, that leads me to think, hang on a minute, how do we have this employment number? And what we're talking about here tonight is a way to get outside of this cycle. If you are working for a boss, if you get paid every week based on you turning up, you are a slave to that debt cycle. You cannot get outside of it. So let's think about where this is going. So how bad really is it? This came out of an article that was published on the 10th of May, and the column actually said that changes in the world economy due to COVID-19 making a V-shaped recovery from the recession is unlikely. Instead, COVID-19 will accelerate the process begun after the global crisis, which is 2008, by encouraging firms to reshore activity back to rich countries. Now, what this article was about was the fact that every country in the world has dumped their manufacturing into China and countries like China. But as soon as there's a pandemic or a global catastrophe like we've had, your entire logistics chain has just been severed. Nobody can go to work. So now they're talking about encouraging firms to get back onshore. So bringing manufacturing back to Australia. But hang on a minute, wait for it. They're talking about accelerating robot adoption. Robot adoption, leading to a renaissance of manufacturing in rich countries. Now then, what about the jobs we were just talking about? At one point when COVID-19 was hitting the news wires in a big way, they were talking about 92% of the top 100 companies in America had some part of their supply chain going through Wuhan province. That means 90% of the top 100 countries, 92%, could not function. So now they're talking about bringing that back on shore, which sounds great, but they're talking about doing it with robots. Our society, as we've known it, is going to change exponentially from what we knew growing up. It's changing every single day. Do you think all of these companies that have created situations where they needed all their people in a building and now they've been forced to make them work from home and they've realized, gee, that worked? Do you think they're going to want to continue to pay those office rents? Or will they pay a third of their office rent and get 2/3 of their people to work from home and rotate them? It would make financial sense to me if they were to do that. So here's a market warning. If you're transferring money to purchase gold overseas, you might want to consider what you tell your bank. They do not like you buying gold because when you own gold, you are outside of the banking system. You are in control of your own life. Be aware, not afraid. We got gold, baby. Now, just put in a couple of lines here because this occurred on Friday and Jan McCloskey had to go and explain herself to her bank. So while she was there and doing the interview, she prospected the banker that was giving her a grilling. And guess what? She wanted Jan to send her some info. So it's really interesting that you just can't accept what we're being told about the banks. The banks are using every asset at their disposal to stop you moving funds out of their control. And you'll understand that if you watch anything about the opt-in laws. So welcome to 2020, you tinfoil hat wearing aficionados. I love this slide. Don't panic, Jonesy, we got gold, baby. And if you think that we're going to suffer the same way that everybody else does, no, we're not going to. Because here's what's happening with gold during the Heineken virus. Now have a look at that. The 1-year yield is 43.05%. And by the way, these are all-time highs. 43.05%. How many banks do you know that can give you a yield on your money of over 40%? Put your hand up, type something in the chat if you want, if you know of one. Because I recollect the last time I checked the reserve rate, it was less than 1%. You need to understand this is outside of what the banks and our government want you to do. We are absolutely out there and we are doing things that they don't want us to do. And yeah, Wal said only if you rob them with a gun. That's exactly right. So please, I'm going to harp on this every week for a while. Show me another thing you can do that will give you a yield like that. And I'm all over it. 43.05% annual yield at this point. And we haven't even started yet. Wait till we hit what's really going on in America and they hit hyperinflation. Now, we've talked about this before on some of our weekends. The US dollar is a reserve currency. Sadly, we are linked to that. And I say sadly because what they do in America eventually trickles down and we wear it. Here's an interesting little slide. Found this on a website today. Global reserve currency since 1450. Now, isn't that interesting that those blue bars are around about the same length? You can see that the Portuguese controlled world trade for a while. Then the Spanish took over after the succession crisis in Portugal, and they had the Iberian Union. Then the Netherlands took over. It got the Dutch East India Company and all that sort of stuff. Then the French took over. Then the Brits took over. Since World War II, the USA has been pretty much the reserve currency. Have a look at that. What do you think's going to happen after the Heineken flu? Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to look at that graph and realize that that US dollar dominance is about to hit a brick wall in a big way. And we are tied to it. And if you want to know what does that really mean, have a look at what happens to every currency in the world when it's linked to gold. And then it's dismembered. When they disconnect their currency from gold, it just goes back to its original inherent currency value, which is zero. Every single time. Not sometimes, not occasionally, every single time. Be prepared. Don't be shocked. Don't be afraid. Be prepared. So just make sure that you understand what's going on. Make sure you understand what this currency is doing. So a couple of sponsors tonight, BJS Urban Fencing. I know if you want a fence built, Mr. Saravalli's the man to do it, and Easy Shopping Cards. We're going to run through some of this right quick. But if you can get gold for your shopping, why wouldn't you do it? You can get gold off any one of those gift cards that are on ESC, and we'll talk about the fencing job in a moment. Because if you go to urbanequinefencing.com.au, you can pay for your fences as a K-merchant transaction. Carrot Pay account required, pay with gold for your fences. How cool is that? All of a sudden, we're getting into the process where we can actually use the system we have and take advantage from it. Understand that. Here's a little video about how to get your gift cards.
You probably spend a large amount of your income on groceries, fuel and alcohol, don't you? What if I could show you how to earn cash gold for all those household expenses? Yes, you heard me. Cash gold. I'm describing the Easy Shopping Cards Rewards program. Just to get a size of what this might mean for you and your family, work out what you spend each week on household expenses, then calculate 2% of that. You can earn cash gold just for supporting a local business and buying your e-gift cards through Easy Shopping Cards. Just so you know, they offer about 40 different e-gift cards, not just for groceries, fuel and alcohol. So let's get straight into how you create an account with Easy Shopping Cards, how to buy the e-gift cards, then how you'll get paid your cash gold reward. First off, go to www.easyshoppingcards.com. Click on Register Now and Benefit Now button, then click on Create an Account button. Fill in the fields. That's easy. When you get to the field that asks you for your affiliate member ID, type in your Carrot Pay wallet number. To find your Carrot Pay wallet number, go to Carrot Pay and log in. Find your Carrot Pay wallet number here. It will be 80000 and then 9 numbers. This is important so your cash gold reward is transferred to your Carrot Pay wallet. Fill in all the fields. Then follow the usual confirmation process in your email. It says, account confirmation is required. Please check your email for the confirmation link. So open your email from Easy Shopping Cards. Click on the blue button, Confirm Account. That will take you back to your Easy Shopping Cards dashboard and your account is all set up. Thank you for registering with Easy Shopping Cards. On the menu down the left-hand side, choose My Wallet. To order e-gift cards, you'll first need to load up your Easy Shopping Cards wallet with funds. You can either authenticate your credit card to pay for your order by choosing this button and following the instructions, or by direct bank transfer by choosing this button. I've transferred $150 into their Commonwealth bank account using my user ID as reference, found here in red font. Once funds appear in your wallet, you can buy e-gift cards. You can see my $150 here in wallet available balance. It only took a few hours to show up. Let's go on to the next section of how to buy the e-gift cards. Click on the tab Electronic Gift Cards. Click on the drop-down arrow in the denomination field to choose how much you're going to spend on your first e-gift card. I'm choosing $100. Click Submit button to see the whole range of $100 e-gift cards available. I'm choosing a Woolworths e-gift card. Fill in your customer details and choose how you want it to be delivered. Either have it printed immediately, by email, or SMS. I'm choosing my e-gift card to be delivered by email. Email sent successfully. I go to my email and I find 3 emails from Easy Shopping Cards. One thanking me for my order, an invoice, and the most recent email has my e-gift card information and link. In the body of the email is the e-gift card identifying gift card number and PIN code, which I can enter directly into my Woolies Money app, ready to go shopping. When I click on the link, this is what I get. The same identifying gift card number and PIN code. I'm going to order another $50 e-gift card to spend all the money in my ESC wallet. It's worth checking out where else you can spend your money with these other e-gift cards available. How will you get paid in cash gold? Easy Shopping Cards will calculate how much 2% of your order is and transfer cash gold into your CaratPay account. It will take at least 8 weeks for the cash gold to be credited into your CaratPay account because of the 8-week Karatbuzz restriction on moving cash gold. You'll notice it here as an entry, deposit gold to wallet. Next time you're ready to go shopping, click on Returning Customers Login and log in on the right-hand side to do your shopping. Congratulations, you're now getting cash gold rewards for your everyday household expenses and any other e-gift card you purchase from Easy Shopping Cards.
Thanks, Carolyn. That's a great little video on how to get some gold with your grocery shopping. And what else would you need to know other than to know that you can go to Dan Murphy's and get 2% back in gold? How cool is that? So just want to let you know that we are expressing our view as affiliates only. It is not company policy. We don't represent Karatbuzz. We use their system quite extensively to achieve the outcomes that we want. Now, here's Miss Camilla with a really simple explanation of how this business works.
Hi there. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are in this beautiful world of ours. We, the team at Gold Rocks, are here to show you how to become a gold saver, which has far better return than traditional savings methods. Let us show you why you should get started today. When you begin saving, you typically have a goal in mind, whether it be buying a house, paying off debt, studying, starting a business, travel, or maybe retirement. We've always been told to work hard and save. The majority of us have only had the following options: maybe holding your cash in an envelope, a jar, or a piggy bank, opening a cash savings account to earn interest, or applying for a loan. But that means debt, and that's something none of us want to get into. Unfortunately, many people don't understand what saving your money by the traditional way actually means. Cash loses an average of 2% per year through inflation. That means if you saved $100 today, it would have the buying power of $90 in 5 years' time. So then what if you put it into a savings account? The average interest rate across the banking system in Australia and New Zealand is 1% per year. So that $100 would have the buying power of $95 in 5 years' time. A little bit better than the cash in an envelope, but you are definitely losing money. So question, what do they do that you don't do yet? The governments, the banks, and the wealthy. What do they do? Simple, they save gold. Robert Kiyosaki, who we all know as the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Cash Flow Quadrant, says, gold is money. JP Morgan, one of the most powerful bankers of his era, whose company JP Morgan Chase still exists today, said gold is money. Everything else is credit. And Alan Greenspan, the former head of the Federal Reserve, arguably the most powerful financial institution in the world, says gold is always accepted. And they are just a few examples amongst many, many others. So why gold? Gold gains an average of 15 to 20% per year. So what if you put your $100 into gold? Well, in 5 years' time, it would be worth at least $175. Would you rather have $95 from your traditional savings account or $175 from your gold savings account? Next question. Why choose our gold and why save with us? Our gold savings account is free to open and has no monthly fees. Our source is the global leader in small increment weights from 0.1 of a gram. And at the time of recording this, 0.1 of a gram was about $10 to $11 Australian. This makes gold accessible to all levels of income. No matter who you are, what you earn, you can now do what was once only available to those with wealth. And helping all people get ahead is something our team at Gold Rocks is passionate about. Our gold is 999.9 gold bullion purity. It has state-of-the-art security against counterfeiting, and our source provides free storage until you choose to have your gold delivered to you. Getting started is as easy as getting back to the person who shared this video with you, registering your free gold savings account, and starting to save your money in gold today. We encourage you to do your own research into all of the information we've shown you. And we look forward to helping you save your future in gold with the team at Gold Rocks. Be blessed.
Thank you, Miss Camilla. And I'm going to follow up on her little video there about why gold. I did a quick screenshot of a number of thumbnails that were in one of the channels that I follow on YouTube. Green light for gold. Don't let this stuff make you suffer. And you can see in the background, it's US dollars. Use gold to hedge. Everybody's talking about using gold. This is how much gold you need. $2,000 gold by the end of next year. That's $2,000 an ounce. Gold price rally. It's just the start. Gold's new bull phase. The case for gold. $10,000 target on gold, $10,000 an ounce. If you've got a gram of gold in your wallet today and it goes to $10,000 an ounce, you have had a massive yield. And gold, it's basically perfect money. Now, they're just a bit of a summary of what I've seen on the internet in the last few weeks. You can see they're all different people. They're interviewed by Kitco News. They're all talking about gold and why everybody's trying to buy gold. So let's run through some more of this so we can finish reasonably early. Let's talk about money. Fiat currency is the money that the government issues, and it's continuously losing value via inflation. It no longer has in gold payable on it. Doesn't matter which currency you look at. However, it does in fact do that. Every 20 years, you are going to lose a whole lot of money. So $100 in 1999, you need $154 in 2019 to buy the same thing. And I can tell you that that's conservative because the inflation numbers don't take into account things like fuel. But this works. A kilo of gold in 1920 bought you a top-of-the-line Ford, and in 2020, you will get a whole lot of change to buy a top-of-the-line Ford SUV with a bar of gold. You get a whole lot of change. You try that with the $1,000 that you had in 1920, see what you can buy today. Yep, and Jan's saying she spent $160 last week at Woolies and it hardly covered the bottom of the trolley. I know that feeling. So what's happened in the last 20 years? Gold has approximately delivered 10% a year increase in buying power. Approximately. It's higher than that, but I'm using 10% to be conservative. And in 2000, 31 grams was $450. Today, it's $2,700. That's a 600% yield. And in the meantime, cash has lost 54.28% of its buying power. If you're on this webinar tonight and you're not buying gold, you need to call up your best friend and say, go and buy a frozen fish and get it out of the freezer and slap me up the side of the head with it. Carrot bars. It's got gold and blockchain together for freedom and security. I tell you, the next thing you need to do if you're not already a member is set up a free account. You can join as a customer or an affiliate. It's completely free. It does not commit you to anything. As a customer, you get to pay retail price. As an affiliate, you get a discount and access to lots of other things. So when you join, you're going to need to get started with a multi-pack. They start at 180 euros, go up to 4,900. There is a cheaper one. I wouldn't recommend you use it because it doesn't give you access to the dual team. But what these multi-packs do is they tick the box on all the wealth principles. You can pay yourself first. You'll be establishing a residual income. You'll limit your tax exposure and you'll stay ahead of inflation. Isn't that what we're all about? And by the way, if you're in this business, you can get up to 15% yield on gold you put in the vault. Starts at 4%, goes 4, 6, 8, all the way up to 15, 10, all the way to 15. Show me a bank that can give you anything like that. They're charging you fees in the bank so that you can't possibly make any money with what you've got in it. So let's have a quick look at just a little bit of news. The MasterCard orders have been temporarily disabled because there's a new card coming in the next few weeks. And be prepared for the swap into Carrot Pay. In June, we will be swapping KBC and Univals into Carrot Pay on the new blockchain. You want to be ready for that. You want to have as much available as you can to do that in June. Because when you create tokens or coins or whatever you want to call them on the blockchain, every time they're used for the rest of your life, you'll get a residual income from them because you get half of the fees. And just understand, this is the business. This is the business. This is gold, baby. This is a team effort. We've been able to build something here that is amazing. Harry Lins just said he got some great help from Greg Wilson yesterday. Dan saying, strap yourself in for a takeoff. I know. This is amazing. We do not have much time left before we are all going to be sitting around thinking, what do I do now? June is not far away. If you're in the area, if you're in Southeast Queensland, we are doing a lunch on the 12th. It was to be a part of the June function. We can't run that function right now, but we're still going to go and do the lunch at King Ludwig's. We are restricted to 20 people. There are 6 seats left. If you want to come along, send Carolyn an email or a text. Do it quickly, because there's only 6 seats left. Once we've got to 20, they will not take any more. We will be the only people in the restaurant. It is a fantastic afternoon, and they will be plying you with lederhosen, German beer, and some fantastic food. And Mr. McCloskey has been known to launch into German beer drinking songs when he's had a couple. So just pay attention. This is what we're about in the next few days. It will be a great afternoon. So has anyone got us? Chris Sontag is saying book us 2 seats. Carolyn, can you confirm that you've seen that, please? We'll try and get Carolyn to get that done for you. Yep, Carolyn's noticed that. Okay, Chris, you're good to go. So guess what, people? We've got 4 seats left. 4. Put your hand up. Get organised. This will be a really fun day. We've been there a couple of times before to test drive the place. They have a sense of humour and they have beer and other things. Make sure you come along and have a great time. So thanks for joining us tonight. Is there any questions that we haven't answered? Anything that you'd like to bring up? We'd love to go over. Any questions about the Gold Rocks website? Anything about the gold? Thanks, guys. We've had a great night. If there's no questions, can we type unmute yourself? Is it possible?
Jackie Spathanos has asked for 2.
Jackie's asking something. What is she asking?
2 seats for the King Ludwig.
2 seats?
Derek?
Yes. Hang on a sec, Greg, till I just sort this. Stay
no
there.
problems.
Jackie,
Yes. Can
2
you hear me?
seats?
Probably 1. I'm not too
1,
sure about.
okay.
I'll check on Dan.
Okay.
No, I actually put it in, Jackie. It's me.
Oh.
It's 2.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Well done. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan, for confirming. Okay, Carolyn, there's 2 for Jackie and Dan and Margaret and Lyle. So we are full up. Fantastic. That will be a very, very fun day. And hopefully we'll have a whole lot more information on what's coming down the road. Because by June the 12th, we should have a lot more answers for you. So it will be a really, really fun day. So thanks, everybody. Anybody else that wants to ask a question? Now, Greg, sorry. Yep.
Yeah, Derek,
Yep.
can you get Brad to share the new proposed homepage to the group? Because I think it's pretty exciting what we're doing on Gold Rocks.
Yep. Everybody need to just go to goldrocks.me, hit enter, and have a look at the new homepage. It's really very cool. And Greg's working with Brad. We've done a whole lot of work in that website. It has made a big difference. There's lots of great things coming out of that. Mr. Yates, you have a hand up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Just to remind everybody, let's have a massive end to the month of May, hey?
Absolutely. We're on to it. We are on the crest of a wave here, and it's going to be huge. So thanks for that heads up, Roger. Miss Louise, I see you're unmuted. Do you have a question?
No, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you all. Thanks, Mr. Saravalli. Mr. Saravalli quoted on a job up here in Heritage Park, a fence, but they couldn't afford to supply the red wine required for the road trip. So he didn't win that project here in Southeast Queensland, but he wins a lot of them in South Australia. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us. We've had a fantastic night. Some great information, great views of the world, and we look forward to seeing you on the golden beaches of the world.
Thanks, Mr. Miller. Thanks, Mr. Miller. Great call, mate.
Thank you.